Hey there guys, I've been getting a lot of questions about how am I carrying two heavy fishing kayaks on the roof rack of my Toyota RAV4, and so today I thought I'd walk you through that system. Now the system works great. For me, primarily I'm using it to carry just one large fishing kayak at a time, but on occasion my wife wants to go fishing with me or a friend, I can throw my Salty on there. This works great with one large kayak and a smaller, slimmer kayak like the Salty or the Predator or Hobie Revo or something, but it probably won't be able to carry something like two Outbacks or two Autopilots or two Sportsman's PDL 120s. You really need at least one slimmer kayak involved in this setup, but let's go through it. I'll show you how it works. It's been rock solid for me on long drives all the way from where I live here near the Canadian border. I drove it all the way to basically the Mexican border and back this past month, and it worked out great. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's go ahead and walk through the components of my kayak roof rack system, and then I'll show you how I load two kayaks. So to start off, I have factory side rails but not cross rails, which is good because I needed a lot more space, so I ended up going with 65-inch square steel bars from Malone that clamp down on there really tight, and those work great for me. On top of those, I've got my heavy duty Yakima Big Catch saddles. Now these have the highest rating of any saddle system on the market at 150 pounds, so they can take a big kayak. They're really easy to use. I also have the Yakima Showboat 66 assist roller bar system here. Here I have it extended out for loading, but I can also flip this switch over here and then I can push this in so that then I can open the back of the car without any problems. And this makes it possible for me to load my kayaks by myself because my wife can't handle the heavy weight of these kayaks due to some injuries, so I have to be able to load both of these by myself. Now that Showboat 66 assist bar system locks onto the same crossbars as the saddles, and then here I think this is probably one of the more critical components is these Malone Mega Wings, which also have almost 150 pound rating. They don't handle the super wide flat bottom kayaks like the Autopilots and Sportsman's and Hobie Outbacks. They're really great for like the Salty 120 PDL from Old Town, other sea kayaks, some of the sit inside kayaks, the Hobie Revolution, the Predator kayak. And what these do is, what's nice about them is they have a relatively small footprint and they just clamp down onto the bar here. So I'm able to push out that second kayak out to the edge of the roof rack system. So that the Big Catch saddles, that's my primary kayak carrier for all my kayaks. My heaviest kayaks go there, and when I'm just transporting one, I put them on that one set of saddles because most of the time I'm just kayak fishing by myself. But if I need to bring a second one, this is where I'm going to carry my Salty 120 PDL. So today I'm going to put the Salty 120 PDL up there, and on the other side I'm going to put my Autopilot 120. Now the total roof rack rating for the Toyota RAV4 on these rails is 175 pounds of weight under motion. So I am well over that with the kayak rack system itself and the kayaks. I'm easily got 230, 240 pounds up there. That being said, its static rating is 600 pounds. Okay, so you know, you'll see people put like rooftop tents and camper systems up there that can easily handle 600 pounds. And when driving, kayaks are far more aerodynamic than a lot of roof rack accessories. And I've gone to California and back all the way to basically the Mexican border with these things on in 40-mile-an-hour winds, and we've not had any issues. So I'm not saying that I'm not overloading it, and it does cost me on gas mileage, but I am I have never had any issues with the whole assembly failing in any kind of way. In fact, I've never had any major component failure. Okay, so what I always do to get started is I go ahead and I run the straps, because once you start loading kayaks, you reduce your access to the straps on the inside. So have your straps ready and pre-looped through each one. On the C-wings, they have these little grooves cut here on each side for you to run these through. And on the saddles, the big catch saddles, you're literally just looping the straps through here. That makes it really easy. And then you'll also need 4 sets of bow and stern tie downs. And then I have 2 pre-tied loops, one that's like 2 to 3 feet long for the bow and one that's like a foot for the stern. You want to go ahead and put the bow ones on before you load, just because it makes it a lot easier to access this if you do. So this is what we're going to attach the stern straps to connect to the front of the vehicle. So get these on there first, at least on the bow. The ones on the stern are easy to reach. And then we're going to load the Salty, followed by the Autopilot. Okay, so I've got the assist roller bar all the way to the back. I'm going to center up this kayak right in the middle. I'm going to slide it up using those saddles and then bump it over onto the Malone Mega Wings. So all I gotta do is get that kayak up on the roller bar, and I can walk to the back. Slide this forward. And then just kind of roll it over to the side onto those wings. And that's all there really is to it here. Then I want to go ahead and secure by running the straps up around the bow and the stern. And then I'll secure these straps here before I load the next kayak. And then you just pull this down and tighten it. Then just wrap the spare strap up inside here and it's all good to go. Then I just repeat the procedure using the Autopilot. So I actually think, even though the Autopilot's heavier, I think it's easier because if it's flat bottom, it'll just stay there once you get it in place. And it has these handy rear handles, which make getting it up there easy. There we go. That's it. Then the straps just come around and they slide really easy into position through there. And it locks it in, and I just repeat up front. Okay, so next we'll do the bow straps. I always do bow and stern tie-down straps. Since you are transporting these really heavy 80 to 100 plus pound kayaks, it's your responsibility to safely secure those kayaks on your roof. Because not only if you lose them are you potentially causing damage to something valuable to you, but these could endanger other motorists' lives out at driving at high speed. So it's always a good idea to have bow and stern tie-down straps as backups to help keep your kayak on there in case some component of your roof rack system fails. So I'll give myself plenty of space. I want to make sure I tie in to somewhere on the frame of the vehicle itself, not some piece of plastic that's going to tear away or something hot that's going to cut through the rope. So there I'm tied into the frame. Now I'll do the same for the Salty over here, and then I'll do my stern tie-down straps as well. So just like on the bow, I'm going to use smaller loops. I'm going to go right over the metal component. You can use the handle as well, but it's hard to reach up and tie into the handle system, which is why I prefer to have these rope drop downs. Just makes it easier. Typically it's a lot easier to tie in using the stern tie-down straps because there's usually some sort of towing loop or something right there on the back of most vehicles. Same for the Salty over here. And so there we go. Those pass the wiggle test. They'll hold on for a long drive. If you're starting out with new straps or your straps get wet when you're driving, you want to stop after 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. Check them because they will stretch quite a bit. And if it gets if you put them on there when it's cold and then it warms up, you want to check them because they can deform the bottom of the kayak. As the kayak expands, it's going to get really tight. Okay, so that's my setup. If you have any questions, just let me know in the comment section below. I'm going to put links to all of the major components here in the description so that you guys can do your own research. And if you have questions about your own setups and what kayaks you think might work, just let me know in the comment section below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. All right, just remember guys, fish smarter, not harder. Bye guys.